So I assume that answered all your questions, correct? Or are there one or two left over? Well, anyway, I'm here to answer questions. So anybody wants to? I think I forget your official title.
Panel queen.
Panel queen will handle your questions.
I'm the panel queen. Yeah, in the U.S., I'm the panel president. All right, proceed.
Okay. Of the characters you didn't create, though, which one was your favorite?
The ones I didn't create. The ones I had nothing to do with? If I had nothing to do with it, I have no opinion. I mean, when I was writing Transformers, I wrote, almost all the characters I wrote were characters I had something to do with. I did not name Optimus Prime, but certainly he was a favorite, so I'd probably put him up there. But almost everybody else I created. Go ahead.
Hi, I really enjoyed seeing you on The Toys That Made Us on
thank you.
Netflix. I'm wondering how you thought about your portrayal in the dramatized portion of that show.
Well, there were two betrayals. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. But I'll go through both of them. Okay, so number one, overall, I thought they did a very nice job on that show explaining the whole history. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff, explaining the whole history of how Transformers developed and so on. And they brought me into it a lot, and they had people saying nice things about me, and they gave me a lot of space to say my own, whatever, said a lot of the things I just told you guys. But there were two betrayals. I'll tell you about the funny one. The funny one was, so there's a moment where they have an actor recreate young me. The moment, it's sort of like at the top of the Sistine Channel, God touching Adam. Jim Shooter coming to me and offering me the job, and me taking it. And so I'm sitting there behind my desk. They actually asked me to get a photograph of what I looked like back in the 1980s. I found one from my office, and they had an actor dress up something similar to me. And they have somebody playing Jim Shooter who's about a foot too short, because Jim Shooter's like 6'8". And anyway, they recreate the scene where Jim is coming, supposedly recreate it, where Jim comes to my office and offers me the job. And I said, sure, I'll do it. And then as soon as he walks away, I take out my yellow legal pad, they got that right, and I start writing. Now, here's what's wrong with that scene. I accepted that as a freelancer, but I was on my staff job as an editor. So as an editor, one would never, or one is never supposed to, start working on their freelance during office hours. That's what I did over the weekend. So after that appeared, I spoke to, I forget the director or the producer, after I finally watched it. I said, I don't really care. They can't fire me 30 years later, but it didn't happen that way. I took it home and worked on it. Okay. Now, the bigger betrayal, though, was they tried to put a joke in there, which I thought really fell flat and was kind of insulting. And I reamed them out on that after I saw it. I called them up and I said, I'm really upset with this. And I think it skimmed past almost everybody else who might have watched it, so maybe you're referring to that or not, I don't know. But earlier in the show, they had Larry Hama, who developed G.I. Joe, quote himself about anybody, he said, the quote, I'm approximating it, was something like, at Marvel, anybody who worked in a toy book was considered a loser. Now, he's entitled to his opinion. I looked at it as anybody who got work at Marvel should consider it as an opportunity. The losers were the ones who couldn't get into Marvel. And even those people didn't always lose, but eventually they persevered, they got in. But I looked at it, and as I explained earlier, I was on editor's row. I was the fourth or fifth choice. I got this great opportunity to show that I could write, and I took it. So again, Larry Hama quoting, his own quote about what he's free country. I have nothing against him. He can say whatever he wants to say about himself. Anybody who takes a toy book is a loser. That's his opinion. So at some point in The Toys That Made Us, they show me sitting on a stool like a deer in the headlights, and they run his audio crawl under me. Anybody who takes a toy book, writes a toy book is considered a loser. And I was furious. Now, I've done panels like this, and I've done interviews, and I've done blogs, and I've done all sorts of things over the years. And one thing I've learned is to control what I say in public. I didn't say that. So I was furious. And they said, well, we were trying to just show how ironic it was that you're just the opposite of a loser, that you became so successful doing this. And yeah, okay, it was a stupid joke. It did not deserve to be in there. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but that's where I felt betrayed.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.